Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make a courthouse. The courthouse has a courtroom where the cases will be judged and presided over. Is that a real word? We have all sorts of cool stuff in here. We have a place to actually sit and watch the case unfold. We have the prosecution and the defendant. We have a place for the judge with a little makeshift gavel. We have a witness box, and we also have a place for the jurors as well. We even have another place for the jurors as well, a little bit of a room where things can be decided and talked upon. On the opposite side of the courthouse, we have a holding room for prisoners and for all sorts of other different people as well. I'm sure that there's plenty of other ways you could end up in here too. And last but not least, we have the judge's chamber at the back of the build. Order in the court! Here is the amount of space you will need to make your courthouse, a 37 by 31 block area as represented by the white concrete grid on the ground, which I would always urge you make if you are planning out your city. Here are all of the materials that we will be using throughout the build. Please do make sure that you have access to all those materials and enough of them as well. Step 1, ladies and gentlemen, if you have made the grid, come all the way over to the front left hand corner of it. Then count backwards 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and begin by placing 2 lodestones going right. 1, 2. Then place 2 end rods faced upwards going right. 1, 2. 2 lodestones. 1, 2. 2 end rods. 1, 2. 3 lodestones. 1, 2, 3. And then 2 lodestones extending forwards. 1, 2. Place 16 lodestones going right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Extend inwards by 2. 1, 2. And then extend right by 2. 1, 2. Then place 2 end rods. 1, 2. 2 lodestones. 1, 2. 2 end rods. 1, 2. And finally 2 lodestones. Now we have to start building the side of our courthouse, and we want to extend this lodestone backwards by 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Then we want to extend inwards by 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then extend towards us by 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right by 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then inwards by 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now, the easy part. We can extend all the way over to the right, and then we can extend all the way forward. So, the end result of which should look a little bit like a submarine. So this is what we want to have so far. Now, the next thing that we're going to do is grab our brick blocks and place a layer of bricks on top of everything that we've just made. So, directly on top of the lodestones, all the way around, on top of the end rods, all the way around, we want to have a layer of bricks. This is kind of the foundation, the base that the courthouse is built on. Not laws and principles and humanity. It's built on lodestones and bricks. So we're going to place these all the way on top, and we will have something which should look tremendous, just like this. Very good. So now that we've done this, another couple of things that I just want to do before I forget, because these are little details, but they're important to me. I want to place lodestones behind the end rods, lodestones underneath the end rods, and then it just looks a little bit better. That's perfect. What are these particular parts of the build? One might be wondering. Well, as I do get inspiration from real life, I saw a few courthouses, and a few of these had them in. Now, I'm assuming that these are actual, like, windows to, like, some sort of basement or cellar, but I'm Well, this doesn't have a basement or cellar unless you want to add one, but I just liked the detail. I just thought it looked pretty cool. If nothing else, I mean, it could be a drain or something like that, but I like the detail that it brings. So, now that we've done that, we are going to work on the front of the build a little bit, because it's the most complex part by far. And I just need to get my plans. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. Grab the smooth quartz stairs and come to the sticky out part in the front of the build. We want to take the smooth quartz stairs here, and we want to extend this brick block outwards by 3. 1, 2, 3. And we want to do the same thing on the opposite side, so not this corner, inwards, 1, 2, 3. And then, this should be in my plan somewhere, I don't know where I've put it, found it. In front of these rows of stairs, we want to have a row of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pillar quartz block extending upwards from the ground. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we're also going to place a row of smooth quartz stairs in front of these pillars as well, or more so connecting the two pillars together, I should say. And then we want to place a row of stairs just in front, kind of just connecting down to the ground like this. And then we're just going to have to change materials already. So we're going to get rid of the lodestones and the brick blocks for now, and we're going to grab stone brick stairs and quartz bricks. You see, we want to complete these stairs around this area by placing stone bricks on the left and right, like this, kind of just wrapping around and connecting to the quartz. And then we also want to fill the top of this area in using quartz bricks. I'm trying to use loads of different textures. I'm even considering swapping the smooth quartz stairs out here for regular quartz stairs a little bit later on. So the next thing that I want to do is I kind of want to mark out all of the windows and such on the front, because that will then allow us to build the roof. So if we start over here on the left where we have our first horizontalish row of bricks, we want to kind of have this pattern. We want to have 2 terracotta and then 2 glass. 2 terracotta, 2 glass. 3 terracotta. Now, the terracottas want to get extended up by 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And the idea is that that will allow us to make the windows, which are going to be 2 rows of glass at the bottom, quartz stairs, glass, and then terracotta at the top. And we want to raise up these terracottas to be as high as the first initial row. They want to be 5 rows high in total, extending up from the brick. Can join them together at the top. And then, again, that will allow us to place our stairs. It'll allow us to place our glass like this. And we'll have something which should look like that, which is perfect. Which will then allow us to make a frame around this window area by placing pillar quartz block on the left and right sides here, like this. Then by placing upside down smooth quartz stairs in between the windows like this creates a bit of depth. And to further said depth, we want to place a row of smooth quartz slabs below the windows. So it's a bit of a mix of a newer, more modern building technique, but using some older materials as well. It just looks very satisfying to me. Let's do the same on the other side. So coming to the other side, I don't know how we've missed this brick here. This is what we can do. So do that, and then do that. I don't even know where that went. Surely I must have placed it. But anyway, on here on this corner, 2 terracotta, 2 glass. 2 terracotta, 2 glass, 3 terracotta. And once again, these want to be raised up by 1, 2, 3, and 4, just like this. We can connect them together at the top as well. It'll allow us to... Basically, we're just framing the windows, is what we're doing. So glass here, like this. Smooth quartz stairs underneath the glass, like so. And then glass pane underneath the stairs, just like that. Then, pillar quartz block on the left and right sides, like this. Excellent. And then all we have to do, we'll do it in reverse order this time. Smooth quartz slab below the windows, upside down quartz stair at the top. And every single step of the way I'm considering using different quartz as well, by the way. I'm thinking about using good old standard regular quartz just to add a little bit of a texture to it. I don't know why, I just feel as though it may look better. I'll probably try it at the end, possibly maybe. So now we want to consider the front bit. So this is the actual entrance. We're just going to extend these rows of terracottas forwards that we have on the left and right sides, like this. Here we go, just like that. And then on the left and right sides, we just want to extend a row of terracotta inwards on both sides. I don't know why I'm doing this, both sides at the same time. Then we want to leave a gap of 2, or more so, you can place 2 glass. And then place a row of 1, 2, 3 terracotta. So it's 2 glass, and then 1, 2, 3. And then this leaves space for the door. The terracottas can once again be raised as high as all of the other terracottas that we have surrounding it. So they all want to be the same height. They all want to be joined together at the top. We're not going to be adding any framework here, or at least not for the windows, but the windows do want to be the same. I'd find it easier to place the quartz stairs before I placed any glass, because it just makes it easier to do after the fact, I think. Although we've only got a row of 2, so it would have been easier just to do left and right sides. But anyway, regardless, whatever. So this is the door frame, sort of. So we need to place, it's going to be the door frame. The door's going to be in the middle. Left and right, we want to have a row of 1, 2, 3 pillar quartz block, 1, 2, 3 pillar quartz block. Join them together at the top using smooth quartz stairs. And then a row of an upside down smooth quartz stair on top of each. Join them together using smooth quartz slab, and then place either light grey concrete behind, or can I quickly steal one of these? A row of lodestones. I like the lodestones quite a bit because it's just an interesting texture. I think that's better than the light grey concrete. Quite honestly, very difficult to say quickly. So now that we've done that, we then want to connect the pillar quartz together at the top using smooth quartz slabs, and we want to join it back to the frame. So just like this. We have to give this thing a roof. Now, the roof, I think it's actually going to start. Let me make sure that I'm getting this correct. The roof kind of starts on the inside pillars here of the build. So like where the build kind of like extends into 2 wings, that's where the quartz slabs begin. It extends 1 row forwards, and then it extends inwards and upwards until eventually, using slabs, until eventually it will hit an apex. So all the way up at the top, eventually. So it'll be about here. That's where, the only reason I know that is because this is the very center of the front of the build, and I think that we're pretty much there. So let's start on the other side anyway, and then we'll see if it's right. I'm pretty sure it is, but you know, I've been pretty sure about a lot of stuff. So let's join this all together. Nice, there we go, perfect. I'm considering extending the brick blocks, these, backwards, using literal bricks, so quartz bricks, instead of just the smooth quartz block. I'm thinking about using these instead, because number 1, you're not going to see it that much, unless you are elevators, and number 2, again, I don't know why I'm on a particular sort of like, I want interest, I just want a little bit of different, you know? Like, I just want it to be a little bit different than just like a smooth quartz all the time, and just terracotta all the time, because it would have been quite easy. And of course, I'm extending these slabs backwards so that they're equal to the quartz bricks. It would have been rather easy just to have this all smoothed out using smooth quartz and terracotta instead of bricks, and you know, it all still look lovely. It all still look very nice and everything, but I don't know, I just wanted to add a little bit of something different. You're always more than welcome to change the materials if you like. It sort of depends what sort of city you're going for as well. Like, this still fits in because it's still relatively, you know, it's not like outlandish or anything, but sometimes, you know, sometimes it is nice to have like a build over there that is just so simple and so clean looking, as opposed to, you know, something that's got a bit more texture to it. Anyway, regardless, the next thing that we're going to do now that we've kind of like made the frame of the roof is we want to place, and this is going to require a little bit of destroying, but, you know, sometimes these things do. We want to have a row of lodestones above and inside of the quartz slab area here. And then, this is where the light grey concrete comes back in. We then want to have light grey concrete. We're going to have to destroy every slab layer, I believe, even at the top here. So, there we go. And then just rows of light grey concrete. I did actually try this using nothing but lodestones. And I think lodestone is something that you want to use sparingly. So, now that we've done that, we want to make the clock. There's a clock for some reason, and it seemed right. So what we're going to do to make this a quartz, would this look silly to extend a quartz brick out here and then an additional row forwards? It wants to be set one row forwards. Extend this down, left and right like this, another row on top, and then I actually think it has to be one row higher as well. So here and here and here, like this. And then, would it look... I think it even has to extend out an additional row in relation to this, if this is how we're... Yeah, it does actually. So, it wants to stick out one row out from the roof, just like this. And then, does it actually want to drop one row lower? I don't know whether I want to alter the clock. But anyway, so I don't know if it would look silly to, once again, and kind of include the bricks, or whether it'd be better to have kind of a smooth face. I really am starting to wonder about these things, so that actually looks a little bit too much. So I think that we're going to drop this down a row so that we get to appreciate the roof a little bit. I was thinking about just extending the clock face outwards. I don't know why. We could even drop this inwards a row now because it doesn't conflict too much. But I also don't mind that it kind of like sticks out. But the point of this is that we can then grab the dark oak trapdoors and we can create a kind of like faux clock using just two trapdoors like this. And you know, you can put those into various different positions, but that one is my favorite for some reason. It just looks like a clock almost immediately. Another idea would be to place this, yeah, out of the top of here, and then to it looks a little bit different, and then it's kind of like it's more centralized. But once again, I'm kind of like vibing with the bricks, so that's kind of up to you. Whilst we are not really on the subject, but whilst we were at one point in time on the subject, if we grab regular quartz stairs, I do think that this would look better with them. Or at least just for this particular part of the walkway. I don't know why, I just feel as though it would. It just looks as though, it just looks a little bit more real to me, but, you know, maybe make your own judgment. So, now that we've done that, by the way, that's the majority of the front done. I mean, well, sort of. The building part, we've got to do, like, fencing and stuff around it, but I actually want to start working on the sides a little bit now. So, when it comes to the sides, they're relatively simple. Let's grab the materials that we actually need. So, for the sides, can we stuff all of these away and then kind of get them in some sort of order? So terracotta will need glass pane, smooth quartz stairs I like for the windows, and then that might be it. We actually need a bit of pillar quartz block for the back as well, but on the sides here, we want to have a row of 6 terracotta, so that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 2 glass, 1, 2, and then the rest of the row is terracotta. And the terracotta wants to be as high as the terracotta that we have on the front of the building as well. Actually, no. Okay, so we've got 2 different things that we can do. We can have simply terracotta all the way up at the top here, or what will be on the end of this build to keep it like symmetrical, like this is a row of pillar quartz, and I have considered that a row of upside down quartz stair might look good. Keeping with the same design for the window, meaning 2 rows of glass at the bottom, row of quartz stair, and then another row of glass up at the top. So, just like this. And then, on the back of the build here, we want to have no detail. For this part, just for this part though, because we actually have some holding cells, I believe that they're called. I'm not 100% sure what they're called, but I'm going to go with holding cell. In addition to this, we want to have a row of pillar quartz block here in this corner, which will then allow us to continue with the whole like upside down stair sort of thing. This side, both sides actually, the left and right side of this additional little box that kind of extends out of the back of the build, both sides terracotta. And of course, on this side as well, just on, hang on, is that high enough? No, it's not. It needs another row. So on this side, we will also have the row of pillar quartz just sort of in the corner too. And here, we actually want to place a row of terracotta on the left and right sides, extending inwards. Split the middle using a row of 2, and that will leave you with 2 handy little places to put windows. So, of course, the split using smooth quartz stairs as usual, and then glass pane in between. Again, being very consistent with the windows. So here, here, and here. Not looking too bad. I mean, once again, if you wanted to add kind of like, just maybe for the back, just for this wall, upside down stairs, just kind of like keep with the theme a tad. I mean, obviously an alternate idea would be to kind of box this. So kind of like how we have been doing. So an alternate idea would be to, and of course then we've used another row, which we didn't have, you know, air quotes, but I mean, I have it. It depends where you're placing this. I mean, if you were placing this right up to something, then you might be like, you know, you might be a little annoyed, like, I didn't really have the space for that. But an alternate idea is to have this boxed in. But the reason that I didn't do that initially is because I kind of liked it to stand out almost, because it's a sort of special room, really. Anyway, coming across the back of the build, there's no windows here. So it's just terracotta rows with the framing, I guess. Yeah, that's it. Almost seems boring. There's a reason though. There's windows on the side, there's windows on the front. There doesn't need to be windows on the back. If you wanted to, no, you can't really have anything back here, to be honest, because it's part of the courtroom, and it's also, this is the courtroom part, and then it's also part of the it's not witness, like the jury area. So, you know, kind of nothing really to go back here unless you wanted to add, you know, just something a bit superficial. But I'm quite happy for it to look like this. On the sides, I mentioned windows. We're going to be placing them. So it is a case of extending these terracottas inwards by 3, 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, and then a gap of 2, well, rows of 2 glass, 1, 2, and 1, 2, and then terracotta in between. And then we can raise the terracottas up as high as we need to, all the way up here, like this. Perfect. Just like that. And then I think that, well, I've raised them all up, but let's do the windows first. The reason that I sounded like I've raised them up is because I think that we're going to add the upside down stairs again to the top. Which, why does that look wrong? It's because it is wrong, that's why. Hey, I think I've figured out why it looks weird. You done it wrong. So, here, and then glass pane here, and then we can knock the top off. And I'm once again not 100% sure which I like better, whether to just leave it as terracotta or whether to have this upside down component. I don't know, but that's a decision that you can make. And that leaves the top. I mean, they're pretty much all of the sides done. So I think what we're going to do, whilst everywhere's sort of like nice and open, I think that we're going to kind of create some of the interior walls, which will be in my plans if I can find them. Why do you make plans this way? Why can't you just do it all normal and organized? Okay, so we have pillar quartz block, terracotta. We'll need the 2 woods, oak wood plank, spruce wood. I'm using lodestone for a floor material because I like it. And let's head inside. Well, sort of inside. Should we probably extend these rows backwards? Yeah, we probably should. We should probably extend the lodestones into the build. You don't have to do all of... Just this bottom row of lodestone should do. Like this. We could even use terracotta beyond there. Only reason being is if we take a look up... There we go. Better. So, inside of here. Where is the floor, number one? Destroying these bricks here. This is the floor line. Directly out from the quartz bricks, you're into the courthouse. I've not made it too complicated. Where are these walls that I keep talking about? They actually split up rather nicely. All we have to do is extend these terracottas that we have on the left and right. I mean, literally the two wings. I keep using the word wings, really. These two wings of the build kind of like here. So, I mean, that's all there is to it. So, or, alternatively, actually, to make them a little bit better shaped, where we have this pillar quartz block here, and this I've done it slightly wrong, where we have these pillar quartz block here, let's destroy these rows of quartz here. So, we don't want to destroy these at the bottom. So, hang on. My bad. Sometimes I get things wrong, and not only just sometimes. So, let's extend these back up. Okay, so that's all natural now. Next to this window is where we want to extend things, because it gives a bit of a nicer shape to the courtroom. That's pretty much the only reason. Because instead of it just being a bit of a... Instead of it being a little bit blocky, like in doing it this way, placing a row of pillar quartz here, and then ultimately on here as well to keep it balanced, and doing the same thing here. So basically, we're just placing the pillar quartz like where we have it on the outside. We don't have it on the back, but on the front. So it would go here, and then if we follow along here, and then we can simply just place the terracotta in between. And it means that, you know, it just means that on the inside of the rooms, the two rooms that we have, annoys me slightly. It might annoy you, but it is what it is. The windows are like these rooms are they're not symmetrical because the windows. It does annoy me a little bit, but it is what it is. So, but this looks a lot better, right? Does this not look pretty good? So for the floor of the courtroom, and I think that I might have to do this in fast forward because it's very tedious and it's a little bit. It's not fun to watch. The floor of the courtroom, the actual floor part, and what is going to be the judge's chamber. I forgot about this part. How could I? The judge's chamber is back here. This is a little bit boring in the fact that it's kind of just sliced off of the build almost here. The floor in here will also be, you know, this as well. I don't know how the pattern works out exactly because it's going to run in from there into here through a door. But these two rooms are going to have the wood effect. And then the other two rooms, which are going to be here, are going to have... I thought about, for the holding cell area, I did think about dropping the floor down an additional row because it just seems to make a little bit more sense. So I'm thinking about doing that, by the way. So I'll test that and I'll see. However, in this room, I guess we could do the same in this room if we wanted to as well. It'd make it a little bit more grand. Maybe even the judge's chamber, because you'd be able to add more books to it to greater height, and it might look a little bit better. So I might do that with everywhere but the courtroom, and I guess it kind of looks a little bit more interesting in that way. So you can see how the rooms are going to be laid out with floors. I'm going to do that in just a second. There we go, that looks great, but something that I'm going to add as well is I'm going to grab the quartz bricks and I'm going to add the roof now that the floor is done. There we go. Now that looks a little bit weird, but we can always fix that later with carpet or something similar. So, once you have got the floors and once you have got the roof added in, I'm sure you guys have already done that by now. You're probably going to have to pause the video, but once you have done that, I think that what we're now going to do is we're just going to extend this area backwards a little bit. So you know this little roof area here? I figure if we extend it backwards, at least probably 2 rows, so it kind of like sits in line with the edge of the roof here. So if we just grab all, and it doesn't matter what's at the back, like as long as we just extend all of these bricks like this, as long as the edge of it looks okay, so like here, and then we can probably just fill the back of it in using, I mean, literally anything really. Well, no, let's not use lava, but you guys get the idea. So something like this. I just want it to look a little bit voluminous at the top. I hope I'm using that word right. I'm probably not. I just wanted to add a little bit of volume. So, what I mean by that is, let me show you. So, you can't, like, up here, it's like, well, what does that even... But, down here, like, when you look from the sides, can you see, like, it just seems to go back a bit further. Like, it just adds a little bit of something. It's very small, but, you know, whatever. The next thing that we're going to do is we are going to kind of like make the outer parts of the build. So these are actually quite important as well because I think it really sets the build up nicely. So what do I mean by the outer part? So there's going to be a wall that goes all the way around. It's made using terracotta, brick stairs, polished granite slabs, polished granite itself. We might even use a little bit of brick blocks too. We will 100% need chains. And I will give you the option of whether you like the light grey carpet or not. Later on, we'll also need dark oak wood planks and dark oak doors. So, the wall, if you stick a brick block on the outer corners of the grid that we've made, send a row of brick stairs backwards. On top of the brick blocks, place 2 terracotta, granite slab, and then we also want to have the same configuration brick, terracotta, granite slab. We want this, and by the way, brick, 2 terracotta, granite slab. We want to have these where the pillars are, so opposite the pillars here. And then we want to leave a gap. Oh, let's do the other corner as well. So on this corner, again, brick, 2 terracotta. I'm getting ahead of myself as usual. And then we want to have the upside down brick stairs extend across and join together. So this is kind of what we have so far, but I also want to place 2 rows of the same thing, so brick, terracotta, where the door is. So where the 2 pillars for the door go, I also want to have the same thing. So 2 bricks, terracotta, granite slabs on top. There. Easy as that. And then we want to join the outer rows together to the even more outer rows. Outer rows, more outer rows, like this. Or I guess you could say inner row, inner outer row to the outer row. I don't know what to call them. And then we're able to place chains. So the chains are basically for the fence. So instead of using iron bars, we're using chains. They look better, in my opinion. They just go better. There's something about the colour of the iron bars, they just don't look quite right. I don't like the texture of them, they look a little bit weird. They remind me of cobwebs made out of metal. I don't know. So, if you're quite happy to just have them as they are like this, then that's fine. But part of me needs carpet on top of them. It doesn't necessarily have to be carpet, but part of me needs... I almost wish, but I'm glad they don't. I almost wish that they had a... I don't know if this is the correct term, but when you have a curtain rail, there's a part on the end. So instead of just having, like, the rail, the smooth part, you've got what's called, I think, a finial on the end. And that is what these could almost do with, you know when you see those like wrought iron bars where they're kind of like twisted and at the top it's almost like a little bit bulbous and it looks kind of like cool, it's a little bit thicker than the rest of the bar and it's just patterned and interesting. We could almost do with that as kind of like a topper, maybe like a twisted chain. I mean, do you guys know what I'm talking about? It just put like kind of like a nice finish. But instead I've got the light grey carpet, which I don't even know if I like, but I think I do prefer it better than just the chains. And the chains, I want to fill this middle part in, so in between, like, you know, the two door pillars that I've kind of created. And I'm actually going to make these chains 3 rows high, like this, instead of the 1 row. And then, when they're a bit taller like this, I don't feel as though that they suffer from the same issues. So, I'm quite happy just to also have chains here on the left and right. These are, like... You can walk through chains, by the way. If you weren't aware of that, you're going to become even more aware of it when we make the jail cells, because they're not going to be secure. But you can walk through chains, but they do look like... They just look like a boundary. They look like you can't walk through them, and I like them for... They just look good. And I just want to leave a gap here, not in the middle. I'm not adding anything on top of them. Feel free to if you want to. As a matter, it would distinguish this part from the 2 other parts, but I don't know what it is. I don't know whether I like it or not. It's actually not bad. I don't know. We're using granite, polished granite, in 2 places. Maybe just 1 place. I want to connect the width of the 2 entrances to the width of the quartz area that is in front of us. And I think I'll place this underneath these chains as well. So basically, it's almost like a pathway leading up to the steps of the courthouse. I don't know why it's like a path. It is quite literally a pathway like this. I don't know. Okay, so the reason I'm sighing is because I don't know whether to add granite underneath here, because it does look quite nice, or whether to add a hard contrast. But this is why we have 2 sides. Because... okay. Because... It's not, you see, that's the thing, it's not exactly a hard contrast, but it is in relation to the bricks, but it's not in relation to the pavement that's out front. I think it looks better with grey, because it just, I don't know why, I just think it looks better with grey, just underneath there. Originally, I had little fountains here. I don't think I like them. I think I'd prefer it to just be kind of like plain, like this. I'm not even sure that I want to change the grass. For now, I'm going to leave the grass like this because I like kind of like the darker green, especially when this is in a city setting, as opposed to what I was going to do was you can see the play zone next to us, a soft play center. Like, that's the difference in the grass. I think I'd prefer to either keep that or to simply just use green terracotta. So let's knock out a little bit of it and let's just see which we'd prefer. I don't know why. I just think that it being a bit darker, like courthouses aren't exactly happy places. Like, I want it to be a little bit grim's the wrong word, but I don't think I like the green terracotta either. So I might just leave it plain old grass. We'll make a decision by the end of the video. So the next thing that we're going to do, now that we've kind of like done this, and by the way, there's a couple of parts around the build. I don't think I'm going to do anything to them. If you wanted to, you could have fence, like you can connect this all together if you did want. So like, it wouldn't really serve a I guess it does make sense that the entire area would be fenced. It would probably make even more sense that the judge's office, I think that actually chambers, the judge's chambers would probably have a little bit of protection in the form of a fence. So it might be, if you do have the space, if not, it doesn't matter, but if you do have the space, then it would probably make sense to have a wall that goes all the way around. And then probably nothing really inside of the wall, to be honest. Like, there's not really anything, there's no way to really get in and about this place, so it really is just to kind of like keep people out. It's not exactly to have interesting areas like locked away, so. But that's what I'm going to be doing to this. Whatever I decide to do to the front, I'll do to the back. Or I'll polished granite the whole thing. I'm not sure, but I think I'm going to put a wall around it, and that's a split of the moment sort of decision, so I'm sorry that if you don't have enough room, but I just kind of like thought about that right now, as I am absent-minded apparently. So I'm also going to grab dark oak trapdoors. There's one door to the courthouse, it goes right in the middle. It has dark oak wood planks on the left and right of it, with dark oak trapdoors creating kind of a texture on the left and right. That makes it look a little bit fancier. We'll do the same thing on the inside. We'll add a little bit of texture to the planks, like this. And then, probably, just terracotta above. Smooth quarter stairs? That looks okay, actually. That doesn't look bad. I don't know if we can afford to add a frame around this, because that would solve the problem quite nicely. I don't think we can. Okay. The courtroom is looking a bit dark. I'm going to... Later, we will be using end rods as a light source anyway, but we'll just stick a couple of those about for now. So... let me figure out and gather. I'm going to see if I can gather all of the materials that we need for this like tail end part of the build. So give me a second. So I think I've gathered everything that we're going to be needing. I'm going to grab the oxidized cut copper stairs, dark oak trapdoors, dark oak plants, dark oak fence, end rods, lanterns, pillar quartz block, dark oak door, dark oak wood stairs. By the way, all we're going to be needing for now. We will be needing more stuff later on too. So inside of the courtroom, we are going to place, first of all, don't know the official term for these, the seats that the watchers sit. I don't know what, they're not witnesses, the people that just kind of like to watch how these things go down. So, we're going to place 1, 2, 3, 4 oxidized cut copper stairs extending out diagonally from the frame we've put around the door. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll leave a gap of 1 and then another row. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, oh, hang on, I've hit the end rod. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. We will then leave another gap of 1, and then across the width of the entire courtroom, we want to have a dark oak wood plank joined together using dark oak fence, just leaving a gap of 1 from these stairs. I think that we're only going to have one gap right in the middle to get like in and out. And then I might also add like a dark oak plank, just like where the end of these seats are here. I'm going to also stick dark oak trap doors on the ends of the seats. And probably also behind them as well. Like, why am I using the copper stairs? Because I think it looks nice, pretty much. I just like how they look. I like the richness of the colour. Feel free to not use this, feel free to use something, I mean, feel free to just use wood if you like, but this room needed a splash of colour, in my opinion, and that's what we've got. So, now that we've got these, we can properly place the lighting situation. So, I like the idea of having lights directly above these seating areas. So, the ends of the seating areas here, just end rods, lanterns. Also, this is bedrock. This is bedrock. Okay, so on Java, you will be able to place that as decoration. On bedrock, which I am in, and I've somehow forgotten where my chains... there they are. So, unfortunately, we've got slight issue. Got to use chains, which strictly... By the way, don't strictly look any worse, but we were kind of getting like a double lighting effect, or at least I felt that way. I don't know if it actually provides more light. It's got to, right? Like an end rod and a lantern. It's got to provide slightly more light, probably, maybe. I don't know. But we can't do that on Bedrock. Or at least, again, on my version of Bedrock. So, on Java, I'd go with the end rods. It doesn't matter. Chains look good. Chains, you know what? Chains probably fit the vibe a little bit better. But I really wanted the end rods. You know, I really did. I'm a little sad about that. What's that emotion that's similar to angry? Angry that I can't do that. I'm also getting annoyed that I can't place this lantern. So here and here. There we go, perfect. So those lights will actually light a good amount of the courtroom, and we'll use lanterns sparingly throughout the rest of it to kind of like keep it a little bit bright as well. So in front of the area here, we are going to have the defendant and the prosecution. I don't quite know. You know, it's been a while since I've watched Law and Order. So in front of these planks here, stair, gap, stair, stair, gap, stair. And then in front of this, we want to have a table. Now, the table could be as simple as like just planks, but I'm opting to go for upside down dark oak wood stairs in front of the two stairs, and then I'm going to have slabs in between. So like this. So slabs in between. Want the same thing on this side. So here and here. Got to go that extra little mile to get these placed. So here, slabs. And then I want to have computers and books on here as well. So computers are easily made using pressure plates with trap doors slapped behind them. You could even have a closed computer by simply just leaving the trap door and pretending. A couple of item frames with books in would be fine. A lantern on each desk would go a long way in keeping this area light. So, you know, something like this looks pretty good. They don't have to be even either, by the way, so let's get rid of these. What else do we want to have in here? Well, we have the jury. I do believe it's on the left and right side. I mean, I thought there was only, like, them on one side, but several of the courthouses I looked at, quite often there'll be boxes on each side. So we need pillar quartz block. We need quartz stair. We also need some dark oak planks. We'll also need upside down dark oak wood stair. We'll need the dark oak trap doors, oak buttons, the copper stairs. We'll need also levers and also weighted pressure plates. So extending outwards from, because I placed these, we've got ever so slightly less room for stairs. So we're going to place just a couple of quartz stair, maybe 3 quartz. We'll place 3 quartz stair, and then on the end here, the idea was to have like a row of pillar quartz block here, and then one here, and this actually like divides the courtroom up nicely. And it's quite aesthetic, or at least I think it is, because it's like it lines up with the tables here. It's the middle of the courtroom. It's kind of like it balances out this wall. So, anyway. So, in front of what I'll call the jury box, we're going to, it sounds like jewelry box, I'm going to have just a row of dark oak planks like this, and maybe even extend it outwards. We might even turn these into, like, we might turn this portion into upside down stairs to balance it out a bit. I mean, I don't know whether it'd make sense to have a pressure plate also over here, but what I would like to have also is a lantern. I'll add that later. But regardless of all of this, is we want to have the same thing on this other side. So 1, 2, 3, and then pillar quartz block. And then against here as well. And then in front of this again, we're going to have the planks, and then stairs, and I'll just I don't know, again, I don't know if it makes sense, but it just breaks up the colour a little bit. And then across this back wall, this is how we're going to get into the judge's chambers. So just directly into here. Just like burrowing straight into this wall, just like this. And then next to this just little gap that we have here, we want to leave a gap of 1 away from the wall. And then a row of 1, 2, 3, 4 planks like this. Extend the planks forwards 1, and then left by 1, 2, 3, 4. In 1, and then left by 1, 2, 3. And then join the inner corners of the planks to the wall. Extend the left and right rows forwards, and then upside down stairs in between, just like this. And then the inside of this box, it doesn't actually matter what color it is, so I'm just going to use pillar quartz, because why not? And I want to place dark oak trapdoors in front of the bottom of kind of like the judge's box, and then oak buttons in front of the witness and the I don't know the names of these things, but you know, like the witness box and the other guy box. So on the left and right. And I'm using levers to kind of look like microphones so that, you know, everybody in the courtroom can hear. And I need a chair up here as well where the judge would sit. And I mean, it makes sense to have like pressure plates and stuff like around here too. So just around there. On the judge's box, I'm going to use a lightning rod as a gavel, polished black stone pressure plate as a gavel, a thing that you hit with the gavel, item frame, books. Let's throw some lanterns about the place, decorate the courtroom with a bit of glazed terracotta and some leaves. So up here, and it makes sense that the judge also has like a laptop, but we'll have one and it's like closed, so we'll just have one to the side here. Maybe a couple of lanterns like this. We'll have a couple of books out as well. We'll also, again, so lightning rod in the form of a gavel, or gavel in the form of a lightning rod, with like one of the things that you, like that's what you'd hit it with. And again, you know, got to use a little imagination here. And I think that looks pretty good. What I would also think looks good, I don't know if it would look silly. I suppose it depends which one it is. Paintings. So I was thinking behind here, I quite like this as a painting. It seems fitting. I don't know why, but it seems sort of fitting like this. These two paintings here. I mean, I might be wrong. I don't know whether that looks silly or not, but I think that I'm going to keep them just because I quite like them. I don't know why. I just think that that'd look quite good. An alternate to that is because, and I don't know why I think that this goes right, but I'm looking for Thinking Man in the form of a 2x2 painting on either side. I don't know why I think this goes, but I do think it goes for some reason. The score's probably a bit inappropriate. I feel as though it sort of goes. And behind the judge, perhaps the 1x2. All of these might be silly ideas, but I don't know. I think it just kind of puts... Banners would be good to hang. Just something on the wall to provide a little bit of interest. Anyway, lanterns are going to be placed just on the two boxes to the left and right here. I also want to add a little bit of greenery to the room as well. We're pretty much only going to be doing it just like here on the left and right, with just like a little bit of green glazed terracotta and some leaves, just to add a smidgen of colour. We could even do it maybe back here as well, but we don't have to add too much. It's just a very small amount. And then that is it for the actual courtroom itself. So to the left over here, we have... So now that the courtroom's done, to the left over here we have where the jury would, I believe the word might be confer. So where the jury would, jury? Is it jury or jury? I don't know, it doesn't even matter. So they would, the J words that they are, however it's supposed to be pronounced. I know it begins with J. They would be over here. And I think, should I add a frame above the, like, should I add? No, I think I'll leave it as is, actually. Well, actually, what we could do is we could add dark oak, trapdoors. That looks pretty, I'm quite happy with that. So anyway, it leads you into this room, which I did indeed drop down. So inside of this room here, it's actually a very, very simple room. It's not really meant to have too much in it. And to make the room, we need bookshelves, we need the dark oak wood stairs, we need the dark oak wood slabs, we need the copper stairs, we need the black concrete, we need light grey concrete, brewing stand, flower pot, and lanterns. So immediately we're going to add a bunch of bookshelves to this room. So it's just meant to look like, I don't know, it's what I imagine courthouses look like. Like, as a matter of fact, if you Google image a lot of courthouses, a lot of them look quite dreary and drab. Can't imagine why. So, you know, just kind of like breaking it up a little bit with this. There's going to be a large table in the middle. This is, of course, for all of the people. So the edges of the table, we're going to have upside down dark oak wood stairs for the very edges of the table, left and right. It's going to be as long as the width of the two windows are together. And then dark oak wood slabs up the middle, with upside down dark oak wood stairs on the opposite side. And then we're kind of going to use the tried and true oxidized cut copper stairs for the seats. So those can be arranged nice and neatly, as I've done here, or you could mess them up. On the left and right, I like the idea of just having like a couple of coffee Like, I imagine that they've got access to drinks and stuff in these rooms, so maybe this here, we could even have, like, it's actually getting very difficult to move around this room now, so maybe we won't add anything else. It is meant to be a very, very simple room, I think. It literally is just meant to have a talk about what's going on in here, but, like, lantern on the table, maybe a couple of flower pots, because, of course, there'd be a lot of deliberation in this room, so maybe some item frames and, you know, just books scattered about the place, like... You know, I imagine it's quite a difficult process, especially for the people that have to decide somebody's fate. So, you know, it'd probably be quite a lot of... It'd probably be a little bit messy. We could even add a little bit of framing in the form of pillar quartz block. It kind of breaks the room up a little bit, I think. TV on the wall here, but, you know, it just makes sense that there'd be a TV to watch, possibly like evidence videos and stuff of some sort, but I think that looks pretty okay now, and I'm quite happy with the result of that. So, leading us from here into the judge's chamber, and by the way, I think whilst I'm here, I'm going to grab the trapdoor and the... What did I use again? Oh, I used the dark oak. So here, like for the so this isn't the judge's chamber, but I want to add the dark oak trapdoors here with the quartz stairs, and then I'll place the back placed dark oak trapdoors like this, and a dark oak trapdoor here. So there we go. That's all of that. So inside of this room is the judge's chamber. This is, you know, just all the way up at the back, all by itself. And inside of here is where the judge themselves would deliberate. So, bookshelves, dark oak stairs, dark oak slabs, oxidized cut copper, flower pot, lanterns, maybe even some dark oak trapdoors might be good. I would like the end rods back, so I'll grab those in a sec, but first of all, we're just going to plaster the wall with books. This back wall, this is where the judge is going to sit, right in the middle actually, and the desk is going to be 3 rows wide in front of the actual, like, judge's chair. The desk is going to be 3 rows wide and 2 rows thick. Lantern on the corner. Going to place a green glazed terracotta because that's going to be a lamp. Flower pot on the table, and then a couple of chairs opposite. On the back here, just a bunch of bookshelves. Very simple room. Could add some carpet if we wanted to the back here, just to make it look a little bit more judgely. I don't know if that's the right word. Probably not. Maybe a bit of green to kind of like keep with the theme here. So a bit of green like this. I've made a computer would make sense in here, as would, once again, like books and stuff. Depends how much room we've got, so a computer would probably, like, we can have this on the corner and then a couple of books. Keep it all nice and busy. Additional detail could be achieved by placing looms sideways where we have the bookshelves, so, whoops, here, just to look like empty spaces in the bookshelf. It's better if they're actually placed 1 row inwards as well. But, no, my bad. It's better if they're placed 1 row behind, because it looks like the back of the bookshelf, but, you know, what can you do? A painting on the wall might be nice, because I think that I imagine that the judge would spend a decent amount of time in here. So, a couple of paintings on the wall. Maybe in the middle. That lined up with the desk, though, but this lines up with the room. Might look a little bit better. Maybe just a 1x2. That looks okay. That looks pretty good. So this is the room. I'm quite happy with it. There wouldn't have to be too much added to this. Now that we've done all of that, the next thing that we're going to do is come into the holding cell area. And we can make a little bit of it, just a little bit. So in the holding cell area, actually, you know what, ladies and gentlemen? Let me sweep all these materials up, because this is the final room of the entire build. It's very simple. Let me just grab everything we need, and then we can just continue. Okay, so for this room, I don't think we need anything else. I hope we don't. Chains, iron door, ladder, smooth stone slab, red beds, cauldron, oak trap door, quarter stairs, and tripwire hooks. So, against this... No. Against this wall here, the front wall, the open wall here, we are going to have chains 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows long, and then another 2 rows, and then we're going to have a door to the side here, and this door is, you know, it's just for show because you can just walk in and out here. And inside of the cell, because we've just marked it out, we'll have a bed, 2 smooth slabs which we'll keep, bed on top. And then in this cell in particular, there's not really too much going on, so we'll just place a couple of ladders just here. You can even remove, by the way, if you wanted to, you could even remove these slabs, but I kind of like it. It almost looks a little bit, it kind of adds to the vibe. But we have to extend these chains up to the ceiling anyway, so these are a pain to do, or at least they are for me. Might be easier to build down, maybe? But anyway, we've got 2 kinds of cells. So this with the bed, I imagine it to be like a short sort of... And I don't quite know how these work. You guys will be surprised to know that I've never been arrested and dragged to court, so I don't quite know exactly how this goes down. But I'm, you know, just a little bit of imagination on what I've seen on TV and stuff. I do believe that they have little holding cells for possibly different kinds of witnesses, you know, perhaps, you know, witnesses that are a bit, you know, need to be taken care of a little bit, you know, might go here. And of course for the defendants and stuff perhaps in between the trial and what have you anyway. Across this entire back wall, we're going to have an iron door. Not across the entire back wall, but we're going to have an iron door here, opposite this one. And then a set of chains along here. So there's basically like one big giant cell, and then there's a smaller one. So just for a bit of variation. I don't even know if it'd make sense to like have like you know, because I'm thinking of like a prison style sort of thing where there'd be like a toilet here. I don't know if even like prisoners would even spend nights here at all. But you know what? I get people have to use the bathroom and stuff, so I'm going to be a nice guy. And I'm going to put one in here, so put these above the door, here and here. That's perfect. So inside of this cell here, I want to have... It's going to be a similar sort of setup. So we'll have like a bed here. We could even make it a double bed. Yeah, maybe we'll make it a double. And we'll have... I don't know why. It probably doesn't make sense. But a bigger bed. Ladders on the end here so that you can climb up and down. I want to have a toilet in the corner, which is just a cauldron and an oak trap door. Leave a gap. Gonna have a sink, upside down quartz stove with a trick pie hook above it. And then I think that's it for that particular part. We need light grey concrete, item frames, books, iron bars, weighted pressure plate, birch, trapdoor, and flower pots. So left and right here, or just at least left of the sink, I figure maybe just like a flower pot here. I kind of want like a little bit of seating space in this cell because, you know, maybe it'd make sense that there'd be like books and stuff. And we could even grab a lantern because, you know, this room is looking a little bit dark. It's not supposed to be particularly bright, but, you know. We'd probably want to have at least one seat in here. So, you know, just a pretty long desk, at least one seat. Maybe we'll even chop one of those out. Maybe a bit of framework around the beds as well in the form of like iron bars, like extending up. And then like a cross to look a bit more like a bunk. So kind of like this, I think. Maybe up to the ceiling as well. It just looks like, oh no, it just looks a little bit more like the part, I think. And I'm quite happy with that because it's not supposed to be particularly detailed. They are supposed to almost be like the bare minimum living sort of standards, you know. And then over here, I'm imagining like a guard's desk. So this would be dead simple too. So like 1, 2, 3, grey concrete, chair, laptop, drink, lantern, easy peasy. Nothing much to it. There wouldn't be anything to this. And ladies and gentlemen, that's actually it. We've kind of like made the whole build now. So I'm going to clean this up and let's take a look at what we've done. So this is what your courthouse will look like once it has been 100% fully completed. You'll notice that I have added grass to the front of the build. I did decide to go with the green and lime terracotta. It's different on the back than it is the front, but if you just find a combination, preferably using more green terracotta than the lime, that you like, it'll look nice no matter what you do. We also built the fence all the way around the back of the build, and that just kind of like puts a nice finishing touch onto the build as well. And that's all that's changed. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this tutorial. If you have, please do remember to hit that like button, as it helps me in the channel out very, very much. If you're new around here, please do consider subscribing, clicking that little bell next to the subscription button. That'll ensure that you will get all my videos sent directly to your sub box. And if you do want to make anything else by me, check out the card system, the description below, and the top of the comment section for more. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I love you all very much, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye!